Welcome to the KAR98 in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Today we will take a closer look at the most widely used sniper rifle in Battlegrounds, the KAR98K. I will show you the statistics, I will take you to the shooting range and I will compare it with the SKS. The KAR98K is a bolt-action rifle that was adopted in 1935 as the standard service rifle for the German Wehrmacht. It was one of the final developments in the long line of Mauser military rifles. The KAR98 is a step up from the SKS. It's a proper sniper rifle and if you're lucky you might find it lying around somewhere. But don't be surprised when you're chasing the airplane because someday you might find a KAR98 in one of those airdrops. In Battlegrounds, the KAR98 is a vintage sniper rifle and I will start with the stats so that you know what this gun is all about. The power rating of the KAR98 is 66. This is higher than the rating of 50 for the SKS, so we are dealing with a more powerful weapon. The range is 80 and that is pretty good. There are only two weapons in Battlegrounds that can do better and those are the M24 and the AWM. The KAR98 has a stability rating of 34, which is good for a sniper rifle, but the firing rate is only 5 and here lies the biggest weakness of the KAR98. It's incredibly slow. Only the crossbow is slower and I think that says enough, right? The KAR98 uses the 7.62mm cartridge and it has 5 bullets in one magazine. You can increase these stats by using the right attachments. The flash hider for sniper rifles eliminates the muzzle flash and it slightly reduces the horizontal and vertical recoil. The compensator for sniper rifle slightly reduces the horizontal recoil and it reduces the vertical recoil. In other words, the compensator has a bigger effect on the vertical recoil but it doesn't hide the muzzle flash. You can also attach bullet loops. This item increases the reload speed and one of the best attachments that you can find is a suppressor for a sniper rifle. At this very moment, the suppressor doesn't have any negative effects. It doesn't affect the damage at all. This might change in the future, but it's not very likely since there aren't that many suppressors in one game. Let's compare the KAR98 with the SKS. You already know that the SKS has a lower power rating, but it also has a lower rating for range, only 64 versus 80. So the KAR wins the first two rounds. It's a different story when we look at the stability. 48 for the SKS and only 34 for the KAR. The biggest difference between these weapons is the firing rate. The SKS is a DMR, so it's normal that it has a higher rate of fire, but the difference is massive. 32 versus 5 and that changes a lot. I will go to the shooting range with our KAR98 so that we can see how it performs. The first test is designed to show you whether you should adjust your aim or not when firing consecutive rounds. Imagine that you found a KAR98 but you didn't find the 4x or an 8x scope. So you're stuck with a red dot or something similar. Imagine that you see your next victim in the distance, but you can't really zoom in enough with your scope. Nevertheless, you aim and you decide to take the shot. Since the guy is too far away for your scope, it's unlikely that you're going to be able to get a headshot, so you will have to fire twice. The question is, should you adjust your aim or will your weapon automatically center back to the neutral position? Let's find out. As you can see, the weapon never goes back to the neutral position. It always goes to a point slightly higher than where you were aiming when you took your previous shot. This means that when you try to shoot at your next victim, that you should adjust your aim after each shot. This comes naturally with a 4x, 8x or 15x scope, but it's definitely something to keep in mind if you only had a holographic sight, for example, because the last thing that you want is for this guy to turn around and shoot you instead, because you didn't know that you had to adjust your aim. The next game that I played, I found another KAR98 and I brought it with me to the shooting range. I also found an 8x scope from somebody who didn't need it anymore, if you know what I mean. The reason why I brought it here was to show you the bullet drop for the KAR in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. If you aim at the middle of a long range target, then your bullet will end up hitting the first black ring around the center of the target, so you will have to make a small correction for the bullet drop. So, if you aim slightly higher, then your bullet will hit the very center of the target. What about the damage model and the effect of the different levels of protection? You will have to fire 2 bullets if you aim at your enemy's torso unless he is wearing the highest level of armor. In that case, you're going to need 1 extra bullet. If you aim at your enemy's head, then you will only need 1 bullet unless he is wearing the highest level of protection. Then you will need another bullet to finish the job. If you compare this with the SKS, then you can see that you will only need 1 headshot to kill if he wasn't wearing a helmet. Otherwise you will need 2. You will need 2 body shots to kill a guy who isn't wearing any body armor at all, and you will need 1 more bullet to kill that same guy if you manage to find any form of protection. Don't even try to destroy a vehicle with this gun. You're not going to be able to quickly take out a vehicle with a firing rate of 5, so don't even bother. To summarize, the Kar98 has better stats for power and for effective range compared to the SKS, but it can't beat the stability and the superior firing rate. Going for those headshots will definitely make your life a lot easier, because most of the time it's a one-shot kill. This was Fog of Gaming, thanks for watching, and I will see you in Battlegrounds.